Good morning if you're in Nigeria, and I don't know where the other people are calling from, but I'm really excited to be the last person sharing today. I'm gonna have a few minutes, I understand, and the whole day is taken. Um, when I was growing up, my father would say to me, whenever he was angry with me, he would say, "You will never amount to anything." He would say those piercing words. And I would not really know the import of those words as I grew up. Regularly, whenever he would fight with my mother, I would be on my mother's side, and we went through a lot of abuse. I'll often tell people that, we had our own experience of growing up under Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate was my dad. Now, before I go on, let me just say quickly that my dad and I sorted out our issues when I began my healing journey, my recovery, in about 16 years ago. Now, he's passed now. We resolved our issues. He didn't have to change for us to resolve our issues, but a lot had happened. I was determined to prove my father wrong. He told me that I will not amount to much, and he told me that I will be a beggar on the street. I realized later that he was some kind of prophet, and I'm going to tell you when I end. As I grew up, I was determined I was going to succeed for one reason and one reason only. That reason was to prove my father wrong. It was such a strong motivation for me. I felt I was right because I didn't do him any wrong. I just was identifying with the pain my mother went through as we grew older. Fast forward to years later, my father would visit us in my house in Abuja, where I was living at that time, and stay in my son's bedroom. My son was just born, but he was staying with my wife and I in our bedroom. And he left after his medical, he would often come for his annual medical. So his medical issues were taken care of, and he left. Went back home to the village, and my mother called me and asked, "What did you tell your father?" I said, "I don't remember telling him anything. Why are you asking?" And she said to me that your father came back and said to me that our son is very successful and we are not tasting his success. I became curious why my father said that. So, not finding what could have led to him saying that, I went to the room where he stayed and I checked around. Then I found something. I found a box and I found a couple of things. When I opened the box, I saw the things that he saw that made him say why he believed I was very successful, in his opinion. The thing is, in 2009, 2008, I found myself, and I was already in my 30s. I had hated my father and exerted a lot of energy hating him for most of my growing up years. And so I went through working in different real estate companies, and my work culminated in my working for MTN. And as a property negotiator in MTN, I decided after a lot of success in 2008 that I was resigned, and that was the beginning of my finding myself. I found out that my father was never the problem. My self-discovery journey brought me to a realization. And that realization is what I'm hoping that everybody who is on this journey today, who has been in this presentation today, has realized that you need to find yourself. Find yourself. Discover who you are, whose you are, where you are coming from, what you're doing here today, for what reason and for what purpose. My reason for being up until 2008 was because I wanted to prove my father wrong. Now, we're talking about a lot of goal setting, and I've heard a lot of very profound wisdom from different speakers, and I appreciate everything that has been said. The question I would ask further, instead of contributing to the wonderful suggestions they have made, is Why do you want to, what's your motivation for that goal? Why do you want to achieve that goal or those goals? Why are you writing it down? Why are you following all of the SMART and all of those techniques? What's the reason? My reason for wanting to do what I wanted to do, number one, was I wanted to prove my father wrong. So first off, I noticed that people do things for two reasons, and I had just one of those reasons, and that reason was negative. Okay, I was doing what I wanted to do. I was pursuing my life's goals. I was doing everything in order to prove my father wrong. And that reason was because of pain. That reason was because of a lot of issues, a lot of shaming words I had heard, a lot of things that had pierced my heart. That was to prove my father wrong. For some people, it's because of the pain from the last job. For some other people, they want a new car because of the wahala the current car is giving them, or because their neighbor has bought a very fantastic car and it makes them look like they are not doing well. For me, my reason was to prove my father wrong because he said a lot of negative things to me. So why do you want to do what do you want to do? Why are you setting that goal? The reason is because you are either moving away from something in order to desire one thing, or you are moving towards that thing, and that's what why you're desiring it. The second reason for setting goals for most people is not an away from reason, it's not a pain, it's not something they are feeling some discomfort from, it's not some shame, it's not some lack, it's not, oh God, I want to change my life because I don't suffer. They suffer. Oh, I want to live in a better part of town because, I have been through a lot living in this other Gwagwa Karumu or Mushin or wherever part of town this person has stayed in before. So moving from pain. The second reason is if you are looking to move towards something, towards pleasure, towards gain, towards increase, or basically you are anticipating the joy of getting something, enjoying something, benefiting from something, sharing something, creating change, or whatever it is. So people are having to pursue a goal because of pain or because of pleasure. For me, remember, it was pain. The second thing I want to talk to you about goals is a lot of people are in a hurry to share their goals. And I would say don't share your goals, except with two kinds of people. The kind of people who will encourage you in the pursuit of that goal, the kind of people who will support you in the creation of that goal, or the kind of people who will challenge you, demand of you, standing up to keep your word to yourself as you pursue that goal, especially in 2025 and the years that are ahead. So, when I talk about what is your motivation, I had only one type of motivation, but you need to have two types. Something that is taking you away from, and something that is taking you towards something. Something taking you away from something, and something taking you towards something. And then number two, be careful who you share your goals with. Share them with only the people, because some people are looking to mock you. Some people are looking to disparage you. Some people are looking to pull you down. Now, in Nigeria, we know our reality is that village people can be real depending on what you believe, but they have power on you only as much that as you allow them to have that power on you. So once you find yourself, number one, number two, you know why you want to get your goal, whether you are running away from pain or running towards something and the joy of creating that. You want to, number four, be careful who you share your goals with. People who will encourage you, empower you, and not people who question you, not people who will disparage you or put you down. And then for every tiny milestone that you achieve of your goal this year, you say you want to build something and you've just started to make inquiries and you've made successful inquiries, celebrate that. You want to start a business and you've done the registration or you've gotten an attorney or lawyer to help you with some processes and they've finished the first phase, celebrate that. People do not like to celebrate small successes because we think that success is only when the big picture arrives. Okay. Now, the next thing is to overcome overwhelm. Some people are challenged with overwhelm, and some people are challenged with, procrastination. You're overwhelmed, or you are dealing with a situation where um, um, you lose focus. So, in order to overcome overwhelm, you want to keep your eyes on the goal, on the big picture. Most people forget about what the big picture is at the end of the year, or at the end of the next 5 years of pursuing this goal, or the next 2 years. And they so get carried away by the daily hustle and bustle and pursuit of the goal, that they get overwhelmed, they get stressed, they get tired. So if you keep your eyes on the big picture, using especially all kinds of visualization techniques that are available out there, you are able to stay centered. You are able to stay there, stay in one place. Now, the other thing is, many people begin to put off what they are supposed to do today. Somebody mentioned procrastination earlier in the presentation. They begin to put off what they're supposed to do today for tomorrow, now for later, this year for next year, because they are not only, they have allowed themselves to be in the place where they are so overwhelmed by by the things that are going on, you know, from moment to moment, the pressures, the challenges, the overwhelm of all kinds of things, that they need to remember why they started in the first place. And why you start in the first place is to check what is the big picture of the goal. Remember, you can start because you are running away from pain, and also you are running towards pleasure. Running away from pain is not sufficient, like it wasn't sufficient for me. For me, the moment my father said, our son is successful, every desire unconsciously, every desire to be successful, to pursue anything died. I stopped waking up early, and I didn't realize this until I started my personal growth journey. Every desire to read books dropped. Every desire to set goals, to do this and do that died. And I didn't realize until years later in hindsight. And I realized when I started to learn these things, that because my goal was mostly running away from pain and not running towards creating something of joy. Like most people are running their lives on driving on gear one of the car of their lives. And you can imagine what it would mean to start your journey on gear one, but down the road, a mile later, 10 miles later, a kilometer later, 20 kilometers later, you are still driving on gear one if you're driving a manual car. There is no transition to gear two, or to the second reason for creating goals, which is not running away from something, not avoiding something, not afraid of something. And all of those things for me was trying to prove my father wrong. And so once I had proved him wrong and he acknowledged to me that I was successful, Mbanu, I had finished my journey. For some people, that's why you are stuck where you are right now. You don't have joy in further pursuits because you have never stayed in one place and examined, why did I start? Was I running away from something? Was I avoiding something? Was I in some kind of pain I was hoping to overcome? Was I in some shame? Was I trying to not repeat a pattern from my parents, from my childhood? Was there something? Was that, oh, I just wanted to get rid of joblessness, poverty? Because once you get rid of that and you just have barely enough for yourself, you salute and you give up, you cave in and you quit. That was what I did. So what you need to do to solve that is to have the second phase, which is, as you have something that you're running away from, simultaneously also have something you are running towards. So I not now no longer just want to prove my father wrong. That's done. Now I want to create a better life for my children and for every human being that God sends my way. I want to be able to connect with people, leave them better than I met them, and help them to be who God created them to be. So now you are not just running away from something, you are also running towards something. So you have a car, not just to leave that old battered car that makes your neighbors laugh at you, but you're saying, oh, now I want to be able to enjoy the convenience of driving a better car. Now I want to get to more places in good time, and I want to be able to be happier at the end of my day. I want to be so not, I want to avoid stress. I want to avoid pain. I want to avoid shame. I want to avoid being broke. I want to avoid this. I want to run away from this. Most of our lives, our careers, most of our pursuits, even our quest for good health is more out of running away from something. Running away from something is not something bad. It's something you need to combine with running towards something. For me, I created that running towards something later on. So I want to say to you as I end that day, my father said that to my mom, and my mom told me, and once I opened that box and I checked and I saw that that box had my old check stubs where I had written all the monies I was spending for different projects and for different things. I realized that I needed something much more, which I connected with later, beyond my father, beyond my past, beyond my pain, and beyond everything that was connected with where I was coming from, to create a better world where I wanted to travel more places, discover more, be curious more, meet more people, connect with more people, help more people, and be a blessing. I am hoping that as you have listened to all of these presentations today, or if you're listening to the recorded version, that you choose to be a blessing to your world, that you live not just for yourself, for your mouth, for your tummy, and for your gain, but you transcend beyond that and want to achieve something for other women, for other people, for other families, for other of God's creation. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.